It's time to talk about one of the most requested things I've been seeing in my comments during all the crazy Darth, Revan stuff while we've been trying to figure out what's his purpose in the game, which now we got a pretty good idea what his role is all about. One of the most requested things I saw was, Anna, when are you gonna look at the new Finn rework? Oh my gosh, it's been 2 days and you haven't made a video. We got some good news to talk about, very good news for the Sith raid, and then we also have some pretty decent news for the AAT raid. You can still solo the AAT raid, yay, but a slightly different composition that I did. And for Arena and Grand Arena, the Zeta is not as good as before, but it's still good enough to make him work. So that's kind of like maybe a C, B minus, B news to talk about. So we're gonna showcase footage of all these things today and give you a good, decent initial impression review on Finn, his rework, and whether or not you should give the Zeta back to him if you have another Zeta laying around. So the basic special ability here and this special ability here all got significantly better. As I said, when I checked out the notes for the kit review, all these got so much better. This is the thing that's in question because now it really constrains you to mostly a resistance crew, whereas before, one of the most popular lineups was Finn, Resistance Trooper, C-3PO, Han Solo, and Chewbacca, because before, anyone can hit and expose and trigger all the resistance bonuses, whereas now, you gotta read very carefully, because now it's limited to only resistance ally hitting exposed enemies. So let's say Han Solo or Chewbacca hits an exposed enemy, you're not going to gain any sort of bonus turn meter or bonuses in general for the resistance characters that are on the field. So this is really pushing you towards a full resistance crew. So best case scenario, assuming you're running 5 resistance characters, you're going to get 25% turn meter removal when a resistance ally hits a character with exposed, and at best case scenario, you'll get 15% turn meter gain when you hit that exposed enemy, because these bonuses are for each resistance ally on your team. Now that's assuming only one exposed was hit, but now with this it's counting each instance of exposed. So if there was 2 or 3 exposes, you would multiply all these bonuses by 1, 2, 3, however many exposes were hit. So before the rework, I showed you guys how I was able to take out this Darth Revan team so easy between the massive amounts of damage and all the exposes Chewbacca and Han Solo were bringing to the field. This team was easy, and it also was able to beat Jedi Knight Revan. However, after this update for Finn, the Zeta really limits the viability of this particular team, because you're not going to gain as much bonus turn meter. And yeah, the turn meter removal is kind of cool, but against Darth Revan lead, you can't remove turn meter from him. So we're going to show you how it works. It's not as good as before. I actually did win once, but it's still kind of a tricky thing, because again, we're limiting the amount of bonuses we're getting because we don't have a full crew of resistance. We have 2 rebels in here, which kind of breaks up the synergy a bit. So I'm going to slow it down so you can kind of see how it works. So there we go. He went, and I'm now going to use Resistance Trooper to hit with the basic. Chewbacca's going to follow up. We're going to do this again. Let's trigger that expose. But as you see, we're not getting as much turn meter. We're only getting about 9% turn meter for the resistance each and every time we're hitting these exposes. So it's not going to work as fluidly as before. So let's see if we can go after Scion basic. No exposes, unfortunately, even though we have some high tenacity or high potency applied. Let's do this. Let's try to hit that expose right there. All right, come on. Let's see what we can do. Okay, very nice. And now we're going to try to pick it up on HK-47. There we go. There we go. And it looks like we might be able to pull it off here. We got shocked. It is going to mess us up a little bit here. And let's see what we can do. Let's call in, let's just call in Finn to assist. Come on, let's get a nice big hit right here. Come on, it's, all right. We might be able to pull it off. We might. It's a lot rougher. It's a lot rougher to make it happen. Whew! So not as easy as before. You can pull off the victory, but again, I don't want to oversell it like before, where before it was very amazing. You can still do it, but keep in mind, not as much turn meter gain, and the opportunities for doing so are a lot more limited, and the turn meter removal doesn't really work as much against Sith Empire characters. So we'll show one more advanced battle with Finn going up against Darth Trey, because I'm starting to see some Darth Treyas like this one that I showed before in a video start springing up in Arena. So what we're going to try to do, let's see, we'll try to do the same thing as before. Let's get Bastila Shan Fallen out of here. All right, let's use our basic. Let's see if we can try to take her out a little early. And see again, one missed hit. Done. It's done. Whereas before, a couple, like 1 or 2 exposes hit, and all of your resistance are at pretty much full turn meter. So you had a lot more wiggle room than before. Now, not as much wiggle room as before. And Traya was very easy for Finn to beat in the past. Way easier than Darth Revan. And I don't think we're going to see the same results right now. Let's see if maybe we can try to get something. We have shock, so that's not going to work out. So if you're hoping to use this to go up against some crazy big stuff, I don't want to oversell it for you guys. I kind of want to be honest with you guys. It's a lot more difficult than before. So this one's not going to go as well. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. But let's show some more grand arena-oriented stuff. So maybe Finn won't be the best top-end counter thing like he was for Jedi Revan over the past few months. Let's check out and see what he might be able to, what he does well in Grand Arena, perhaps. So I'm going to make a really big assumption. I'm assuming if you're going to use Finn in Grand Arena, you don't want to use BB-8, Jedi Training Rey, Han Solo, and Commander Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, because they're going to be used for other types of squads. Let's compose some other Resistance crew right here, and let's see if this would work out. So we're going to go up against the Night Sister, something I very commonly see on defense and offense for Grand Arena. So let's see what we can try to do. Let's get rid of this taunt right away here. And now, since we have a full team of Resistance, we're going to get a lot more turn meter, and we're also going to get a lot of turn meter removal. Now watch. There's one exposed on Mother Talzin. They should lose 25% turn meter. Watch. There we go. Looking pretty good. Let's go hit, let's hit that expose and also apply some days on the field. That should be helpful. Look at that. More turn meter removed her Mother Talzin. Let's start going after old Daka. Let's do a basic here. And let's see what's going to happen. They're going to try to stun our Rey, but that's fine. Let's get a buff immunity over here on Zombie. Doesn't look like we got it, but we can probably get finish off Talzin. But let's put a stun over on Asajj. Okay, so the feeling before is still kind of there. The feeling being that, you know, you can try to control the other team with your massive amounts of turn meter that you'll be getting. Let's see if can we finish another Doc off. No Daka finished off right there. Let's try to get another buff immunity. And let's see, can we finish? There we go. So we triggered another revive from Night Sister Zombie. So I still kind of feel that core fun that used to be there in the past, where you could just kind of run circles around the other team. That still can kind of happen. Let's see, big hit right here. Let's see what we can do. Oh, not enough. And let's see, let's do this. We'll try to get rid of Talzin. Let's do a basic over here. And let's do an AoE ability. And I think we should be able to pull off the victory right now. Here we go. Let's do some more turn meter removal. Poe is going to be still important because he spams so many exposes on the other team. So if you want to take your Finn against Night Sisters, again, the strategy is still kind of the same as before. You got to make sure that your Poe is super fast. He has to be your fastest character on your team, so that way he can open up, apply expose, and then the rest of your Resistance characters can apply hit them and then get all these other bonuses. So in a full Resistance crew for Grand Arena, you're going to get a lot more bonuses technically than you did before with Finn in terms of turn meter removal and then how much turn meter gain you can get, because again, if there's 3 exposes on someone, I can hit that and trigger the bonuses 3 times. So we're going to go after a Bosk Daddy team. Again, very popular team in Grand Arena, and this actually might be a bit difficult because Bosk teams have very high tenacity, so it might be hard to apply some exposes. And actually, I take that back. It looks like I did okay here at the very beginning. Let's start hitting some of these exposes right here. Let's get rid of Zan, because if she gets the thermal detonator train going, whoo, it's going to get nasty. If we can get some dazes, that'll help out. Not much there. Let's see. Can we get some exposes right here? Come on. All right. Basic time. Let's see if that buff immunity is not going to help out too much because he'll just cleanse it in a moment. Let's, I don't know. There's not much we can do. There we go. Let's go after Greedo. Oh, see, one missed thing. Because we're not getting enough turn meter, it's going to be a bit rough. Come on. Come on. Come on. We gotta do it. Basic, or let's do AoE. Very cool. I still can't dispel anything. Oh, let's just use our basic. All right, come on. We gotta get buff me, which is, it's gonna be almost impossible to do so. Oh no, they're starting to throw some thermal detonators, and now that he's regaining health back. Come on. Yeesh, I don't know if we're gonna do it. I don't know if we're gonna do it. He's back at full health already. My goodness. I don't think it's gonna happen. See, I was able to take out some Bosk teams with Finn. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen now. Okay. See, now we're able to get rid of the taunt because now we have no more protection over on Resistance Trooper. We gotta get rid of Zam. I don't think it's gonna work out. Let's see. We can at least cleanse. There we go. So we gotta cleanse. Let's get some stuff on the field again. All right. Let's get another round at this. Come on. Come on. Let's get some dazes everywhere. All right, let's see what we can do. Come on, come on, come on. We got to get some work done. We got a lot of work to do here. Come on, Finny boy. Oof. It's rough. Definitely a lot rougher than before. There we go. Basic. AoE time. Okay, let's do some more stuff. Let's get some more buff meter on the field, get some exposes. Only one exposed. That tenacity is going to kill us. All right. We at least got rid of Zam. Let's get let's see if we can do maybe a stun over on Boba Fett. Awesome. And we got the exposed. Perfect. Let's see. Let's just get some more dazes everywhere. We finished off Greedo. I think we got this. We may be able to pull this off here. We may be able to do something here. All right. Let's get like to hit this exposed right here. Whoo, man, we need more turn meter. I'm not getting enough turn meter than before. Let's get a stun on Dengar. Not going to happen, most likely. Come on, AoE ability. Finish off the first Boba Fett. Cool, cool, cool. Let's do this. Okay, we might be able to do it. Now, the problem is Dengar, he's got tenacity, so that's going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. Come on, we got a stun. Finish off Boba Fett. All right, cool. Let's do this. We're going to heal up Resistance Trooper for the time being, so that thermal detonator doesn't kill him off. Come on. I probably should have done a cleanse right there. That may have been detrimental for us, but we still got a lot of wiggle room here to win. Come on, get the Terminator train going. Almost there. Woo! All right. So that kind of shows Finn Zeta. A lot of Finn Zeta tests that we just did against arena teams and grand arena teams. I don't know. For me, at least, it just doesn't feel as exciting as before. I enjoyed the massive amounts of turn meter I was able to give, whereas now you get only a little bit less turn meter than before, assuming you're only hitting one exposed. You actually need to hit like 2 exposed at once to get almost as much turn meter as before, and then you're only removing turn meter from one character, which is a good thing, but still, the Zeta before I did like a lot better. Yeah, but as you're seeing, if you do Zeta the character and you still want to run a resistance crew because you have all these resistance characters laying around, Finn Zeta can still take out some teams. All right, let's wrap up by talking about the raids. Now, Finn was able to do very well in the Sith raid, obviously before he created a loop in phase 3 with C-3PO, and also I showed a video how he was able to solo, pretty much auto, the whole entire AAT raid. So let's talk about raid viability. So really, in regards to the Sith raid, I haven't found or heard of anything about Finn Zeta doing well, but what I have heard, I'm going to leave a link down below. I was going to test it out myself, but there's no one else better about with these raids than Skeletrix. I'm going to show a little bit of his clip and leave a link down below if you want the full strategy. But Finn does very well in phase 1 of the Sith raid with Jedi Training Raid. Now, Jedi Training Raid was already probably one of the best phase 1 teams out there, and now with Finn, because of the fact his basic stacks up in damage and his second special stacks up 50% every single time you're hitting with a cap of 500%, and because of his heals, he does very well in phase 1 and helps Jedi Training Raid get 15 million damage, which is definitely an improvement for the Jedi Training Raid team. So in regards to the AAT raid, a couple months ago I made a video showing how Finn Zeta and C-3PO, CLS, and Han Solo and BB-8 was the best lineup to use to solo and auto the AAT raid, and Jedi Training Raid was also pretty good, albeit not as good as Finn before. Well, after the Finn rework, I'm thinking things kind of switched around a bit, where now Jedi Training Raid is actually a lot better at soloing the AAT raid because of the Finn rework, and the Finn rework for a Zeta and his leadership, I haven't been able to make it work as well. Now that since CLS and Han Solo won't interact as well with the changes to the Zeta on the leadership, it was actually very hard to find a team that would help me get out of phase 1. I got almost close. I was at like 8% left, but getting there was a pain. So there probably is a good chance you can get out of phase 1 and try to do it afterwards, but just giving you my opinion, it was a lot easier using Jedi Training Raid to get out of phase 1, and then once you get out of phase 1, you basically can auto the rest of the whole entire raid. And the reason why Jedi Training Raid does so well is because of Finn. With his basic and his takedown special ability, the damage scales over time every time he uses it, and it eventually caps off. So with Finn, it's going to cap out at 500% for his special ability for takedown, and it does over like 200,000 damage consistently over and over again, which does a couple percent damage to the tank rate every single time he's using it. So because of Finn, Jedi Training Raid can easily get through phases a lot faster, and he also applies exposes, and he just works a lot better due to that scaling damage. So that's going to be your crash course overview of the Finn rework. What are my thoughts overall? Well, first of all, it depends how you look at a character. If you care more about raid viability, Finn is He's beautiful. You took basically a character that was a one-trick pony that was only useful for his leadership, and now he's a good character for other teams. He's great in Jedi training raid teams, so in that regard, he's so much better. His damage is crazy. 200,000 damage coming from a tank, which is great for the Sith raids and long marathon type of events. Would I give the Zeta to Finn? I'm gonna be honest here. I think you're gonna probably need some geared up resistance characters to make it work, because one of the core things about Finn before is you can have a bunch of low level resistance characters, and with Finn Zeta, they were really good. Now, because you're not getting as much turn meter gain and you really need a full resistance squad to make it work, you're gonna need these characters geared up more so they can apply more damage, they can soak up more punches, because they're not gonna be as quick as before, unlike the Zeta previously. So I don't think at this moment I would give Finn the Zeta, although I am going to use him for the raids, and you don't need the Zeta for him to be viable in the raids. But if you have all these resistance characters geared up, you already got your Jedi training raid team, and you got your other characters like Poe, and then also Resistance Trooper, Holdo, Scavenger Ray, and all these other guys, then yeah, I think the Finn Zeta will be worth it, because as you see, there is still going to be viability, especially in Grand Arena Territory Wars. And but those are my thoughts. Let me know down below. I love hearing your thoughts on big topics like this. What do you think of the Finn rework? Definitely got very good in a lot of regards, and I definitely see some retracted stuff compared to what he was like before. But let's talk about it down below in the comments. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe, because we got so many other videos to make. Galaxy Heroes is booming and it's busy right now, and we'll talk again very soon. Peace out, guys.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Get down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Get down, down, down.